What is domain and range? Write everything you know about domain and range in your own words. From the previous lesson, we know that domain is the range of x values that the graph takes. In other words, it's the lowest x value on the left till the highest x value on the right. This is a strict inequality or an equality sign, strict inequality or a less than equal sign depending on how the graph looks like. The range is the range of y values that the graph takes. So lowest y value till the highest y value. Lowest y value is on the left. Highest y value is on the right. Enter the function x plus 50 whole square or quantity square minus 33 into your graphing calculator. We call this a quadratic function because it has a square, x square, in the equation. We should see a U-shaped graph. After we've entered the quadratic equation and we've graphed it, we hit zoom, select option 6 that gets the graph to a standard window, and then we hit graph. Let's try and do all of this on the graphing calculator. I think this is the first time you all are using a graphing calculator. We will switch it on first. Go to the very first button, let's hit this. It should look like this when you switch on your graphing calculator. The very first button that you hit is the very first button on the left topmost corner of your graphing calculator that says y equals. If there is something already entered in as an equation, just press the clear button. Now we are going to go ahead and enter the given equation into our graphing calculator. Parentheses, this is the x plus 50 to the power of 2 minus 33. Press enter. The next thing that the handout is saying for you to do is press the zoom button. Press the option 6 that will make the window a standard window. There is no graph showing up. This is because the graph is outside of the standard window. So no, we don't see the function in the standard window. So we will circle no, as the graph seems to be outside this standard window that we got by pressing zoom 6. The zoom 6 window has the graph showing up from minus 10 to 10 on the x-axis and minus 10 to 10 on the y-axis. As we cannot see the graph in the standard window, we will try using the zoom button and zooming out a few times to see if you can see the graph. So let's go to zoom, press the zoom button, go to zoom out, press enter twice, and see if you can see the graph. You can still not see the graph. Let's try one more time. We can finally see the graph. Now, if we get the cursor, let's look at the window settings first. We have pressed zoom out twice. This is what is making us see the graph. We can also zoom in using the zoom button a little bit. At this point, we can move the cursor to wherever we want and zoom in at that point. Let's say we want to zoom in at near about this point. Let's press enter now. And it's zoomed in like that. So now let's draw this graph. Let's make a sketch for it. One of the vertices that it's showing to be -45 is over here. This is about -45, 0. If we take the cursor to the other side, other x-intercept, it's about -55 over here. Vertex is somewhere in the middle. When we had pressed the window button, we had found out what's the maximum and minimum value for the y-axis. We're able to see the whole of the graph now. We've zoomed in. The current setting is -84, -4. Scale is 1. Y-min is -40. Y-max is 40. We can also just press the window button or press second and table set. Actually, let's just go to window button. We can also enter our own values here. Since the lowest value was -85, if we press a -100 to include that -85 and maybe a +100, let's see how our graph looks now. Right? That's another view. Maybe we want to not have such a big x value because all of our graph is on the left side of the x-axis. Maybe if we just make this 10, maybe our graph will look a little bit better, right? So let's put these window settings here with x-min as -100. These answers might be different depending on what values you are choosing. XSC1 is equal 1. That is the scale. That is by how much each tick is going up by on the x-axis. And then we'll put the y-min values, y-max values, and y-scale. Vertex. If we wanted to find the exact coordinates of the vertex using the graphing calculator, these are the steps we will follow. The vertex of the parabola is a maximum or a minimum. In this case, it's a minimum point because the graph is facing up. If the graphs were facing down, the vertex would be the point of maximum. So in this case, the vertex of the parabola, the minimum, is what we have to find. We will find the vertex by following the directions before. From the graphing screen, hit second and trace. That gives you the calc option. I'm going to do it again. Second is this blue button, trace. That will give you this menu screen. We will scroll to the third option, which is the minimum. Do you see this cursor blinking? If we read the screen over here, it says, what is the left bound of this minimum point? So in other words, it's asking you to take the cursor using the left arrow key. We always only use left and right arrow keys to move around in a graph. We don't use up and down keys. So if we use the left arrow key to go to the left of the minimum point, anywhere on the left of the minimum point is fine. That is our left bound. When we've identified the left of the minimum, we press enter. Now the screen changes. Now it's asking us the right of the minimum point. We will now use the right arrow key, to go to the right of the minimum point. Anywhere on the right is fine. Press enter. Press enter one more time to get the value of the vertex, which is -50, -33. The y value is -50. Sorry, x value is -50, y value is -33. So one more time, I'm going to show you how to find the vertex. So you press the second and the trace key. It'll give you this menu. Second trace gives you this menu. You have to choose the minimum option. The screen is reading as left bound of the minimum. That's what it means by left bound, left of the minimum. You have to identify a point on the left of the minimum, press enter, right of the minimum, press enter one more time after it says guess, when the screen reads guess, and it gives you the minimum point, which we then write here.